Okay, this video accompanies the Kuta worksheet on writing linear equations, and you were supposed to do the odds on both sides of this page. So what we want to do for this section is write the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b form of the equation of each line. So let me write y equals mx plus b. Remember, b is the y-intercept, and m is the slope. So I just call it, you want to get this in y equals form, which really means we need to solve these for y. So I'm going to leave the y where it's at, and this 3x needs to move to the other side of the equal sign. So take away 3x from both sides, gives me minus 2y's is equal to negative 3x minus 16. Then I need to get y by itself, so I have to divide everything by negative 2. So y is going to be, and a negative 3 over negative 2 is 3 halves. Negatives cancel. And a minus 16 divided by a minus 2 is a plus 8. So in slope-intercept form, number 1 turns into y equals 3 halves x plus 8. Let's look at number 2. Or number 3, rather. Number 3, we want to solve again for y. The 9x needs to move to the other side, becomes a negative 9x. So we have negative 7y's is equal to negative 9x minus 7. We've got to get rid of the negative 7 that's times the y, so we divide everything by negative 7. Y is going to be negative 9 over negative 7, which is 9 over 7, x plus 1, because minus 7 divided by a minus 7 gives us a 1. So we get y equals 9/7 x plus 1 for the equation that goes with number 3. Let's look at number 5. Want to solve for y again. The 6x needs to move to the other side, becomes a negative 6x. 5y equals negative 6x minus 15. We're going to divide everything by 5. Y is equal to negative 6/5 x, and a minus 15 divided by 5 is going to give me a minus 3. So this is going to turn into y equals negative 6/5 x minus 3. Now, kind of as an aside, if we were to graph this, one of the major roles for slope-intercept form is to be able to do a quick graph. The y-intercept, say for number 5, means that this line is going to go through the y-axis at a negative 3, and another point on the line is going to be down 6 and over 5. It's got a negative 6 for the rise, which is a drop of 6, and a run of 5. So about over in here would be where another point would be that lets me draw the line. So this gives us a way of quickly doing the graph. I'd also like to point out that these are starting out in standard form. We could easily graph this from standard form if all we needed to do is do the graph by finding the y-intercept. For this one, it would be a negative 3, which would be this point here, and cover up the y's. We have 6x's is a negative 15. X is going to be negative 15 over 6. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 3 goes into 6 twice. So that's going to be like 5 halves. So negative 5 halves is going to be, which is negative 1.5. And that's going to be my x-intercept. So that would also give me pretty easily 2 points that I could use to graph that line. Okay, let's look at number 7. Number 7, we need to solve for y. Change colors here. So move 11x to the other side, becomes a negative 11x. We have negative 4y's is equal to negative 11x plus 32. Divide everything by negative 4. Y is equal to 11/4. The two negatives cancel, x. And 32 divided by negative 4 is going to be a minus 8. So y is equal to 11/4 x minus 8. And that would be slope-intercept form for number 7. Okay, this next section, they want us to write the standard form of the equation of the line through the given point. Now this brings up another way that we have of representing linear equations that we call point-slope form, which is also going to be super important in Algebra 2 and as you go further in your math. And point-slope form really comes from the slope formula. So let me kind of show you where that comes from. We've got m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If we multiply both sides by x2 minus x1, we've got y2 minus y1 equals m times x2 minus x1. So all I did here was multiply the slope formula. I got rid of the denominator by multiplying both sides by x2 minus x1. And I used the symmetric property and flipped things around the equal sign. And this is what we call point slope form. And this is really useful if you have a point and a slope. This is really the easiest way to come up with an equation of the line. So let me show you how that works. So the point is 1, 2. So in this formula, my x1 point is the 1. My y1 point is the 2. And my m is the 7. So I'm just going to plug those numbers in. So I'm going to have y minus y1, which is 2, is equal to m, which is 7, times x minus x1, which is 1. Now I need to distribute 7x minus 7 ends up on the right. We've got y minus 2 on the left. And they want this to be in standard form, which means the x's and y's need to be on the same side. So this 7x needs to move to the left, becomes a negative 7x. The y stays where it's at. And this 2 needs to move to the right and becomes a plus 2. And so when we simplify the negative 7 and the plus 2, we get a negative 5. So in standard form, this is 7x plus y is equal to negative 5. And that's the easiest way I know to get standard form out of this. Or to get, get standard form out of this. So we're given a point and a slope. Point slope form is the easiest method to use. If we're given an intercept and a slope, we would use slope-intercept, which is y equals mx plus b. Let's look at number 11. Let's do number 11 a different way. For this one, I'm going to start out with slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to plug in the numbers that they give me. So they're telling me the slope is a negative 4, so negative 4 goes in for the m. The x point that it needs to go through is a negative 2, so I'm going to put a negative 2 in for the x. The y is a 5, I'm going to put a 5 in for the y, and I need to solve for b. So when I simplify this, a negative 4 times a negative 2 is an 8, so I have 5 is equal to 8 plus b. I need to take 8 away from both sides, so negative 3 is equal to b. So the slope-intercept form for this is going to be y equals negative 4x minus 3. Now to get this into standard form, the x needs to be on the left with the y. As I move negative 4x to the other side of the equals, it becomes a plus 4x. I have 4x plus y is equal to negative 3. So this is another way of finding standard form by starting with slope-intercept versus with a point and a slope using point-slope form, which is this form right here, and simplifying and getting the x's and the y's both on the same side of the equal sign. So you need to really know both ways, and whichever way works the best for you is the way to go, but also, be aware that there is another way, and you should really, sometimes one way might be easier than another. Let's look at number 13. The way I look at it, I've got a point and a slope. I'm going to use point slope. So y minus y1 equals m x minus x1 is my point slope formula. My m is a negative 1. My x1 point is a 2. And my y1 point is a negative 4. So I have y minus a minus 4, that's a y plus 4, equals negative, and I'm going to distribute this negative 1 over the parentheses. I get a negative x, and a negative 1 times a subtract 2 or times a negative 2 is a plus 2. Now I need to gather my x's on the left and my numbers on the right. This x moves over, becomes a positive x. X plus y plus 4 is equal to 2. The 4 needs to go to the other side. By subtracting 4 from both sides, I get x plus y equals -2. So here we have the standard form for a line that goes through the point 2, -4 with a slope of -1. Okay, last one on this page, let's do number 15. I'm going to do this with y equals mx plus b. So they're telling me that the slope, or the m, is 1/2. The x point is a 3. I don't know what the b is. I have to solve for that. The y is a 1. So I have 1 is equal to 1/2 times 3 plus b. 1/2 times 3 is 3/2. So 3/2 plus b is equal to 1. Take away 3/2 from both sides. So 3/2 is really 1.5. 1 take away 1.5 is -1/2. So -1/2 is my b. So this equation in slope-intercept form is going to be y equals 1/2 x minus 1/2. My x's need to be on the left-hand side. Minus 1/2 x plus y equals -1/2. And standard form needs to have whole numbers. So I need to multiply everything by 2. I get a -x plus 2y is equal to -1 for that one.